Before I started narrating audiobooks professionally, I did it voluntarily for a website out of Michigan. And then there was a physician at my church, Dr. Marty Damore, who was an interventional radiologist here in Gaston County, and he was diagnosed with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, and wrote a book of his memoirs called Joy and Suffering, My Life with ALS. There was a presentation on it at our church, and I was so impressed with the book, I reached out to Marty and I said, Marty, if you would be willing, I would be honored to give you a voice and produce an audio version of your book. Not quite knowing what I was promising because I hadn't done it professionally. He agreed, and then I upgraded my equipment so that I had professional level equipment, and with a little trial and error, we got through and I produced the book about 6 months prior to him passing. And then since then, I pulled some other threads and got involved through a subsidiary of Amazon called ACX to audition for other books that I've now up to almost 50 that are available through Amazon, Audible. And I also do work for St. Benedict Press, which is a Catholic publishing house here in the Charlotte area. But also I'll read a short little snippet out of Joy and Suffering, My Life with ALS by Dr. Marty Damore, titled The Paradox of ALS. Our mortality, which seems like a distant star, comes into focus with an ALS diagnosis. The introduction of our mortality is often met with fear and grief. With the proper perspective, however, our mortality can become beautiful. But we must look beyond the immediately physical. Our minds and all our organs remain fully functional, yet we appear as a corpse. In fact, only motor neurons are directly affected. Voluntary skeletal muscles wither secondarily in ALS patients. All other tissues are uninvolved. My 96-year-old grandmother's immediate and long-term memory is quite good. Meanwhile, her short-term memory is almost non-existent. Our conversations cycle through the same topics over and over in the same conversation. Can you walk? No, I have not walked for about 2.5 years. I can still walk, but I have to use my walker. It has a nice basket. Are you able to drive? No, I have not driven for a few years. Oh, well, at least you can still walk.